Hey everybody, so we're going to be talking about relations and functions today. And now a relation, it's not like, you know, your boo thing or anything. In math, it just means that a relation is an ordered pair, meaning it's some coordinate pair x, y. Now, what's special about a relation is that there's a special type of relation, and that's called a function. This is something you might remember from 8th grade. And now a function is a special relation for which each x, there's only one output. Pretty much, your x's can't repeat, and they shouldn't repeat, just like in real life. Now, output, that's just one of the other ways we can say y, by the way, your y values. Something you're also going to be talking about is domain. Now, this is the list of all of your x values in a relation or function, whereas range is the list of all your y values in a relation or function. Now, these are a lot of words to remember. So I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine, and his name is Dr. Idiot. I know, it's a very unfortunate name, but this will help you remember all the different ways of saying it. So we're going to write out DRIDIOT. And the T is actually the T chart that we wrote this under. All right, now each of these stands for something. So we've got domain, which is something that we just talked about. We've got range, which is the y values. We've got independent values. And then on the other side, you're going to have your dependent values. Also, sometimes they are going to write down that it's variables, and that's totally fine. You've got your input and then your output. And then all of these are ways to say x and y. And just like your normal T chart, we're going to put an x and y up there and write down x values and y values because that's another way of saying all of these. All right. Now, as we keep going, I'm going to show you the 4 ways we can represent all of this. And I want you to remember that domain is going to be listed from least to greatest. You are polite mathematicians. Don't be like the rude, nasty test people. They don't always write it in numerical order in least to greatest, but I want you to be polite mathematicians. All right, so here are the 4 representations of relations. The first one that you see is ordered pairs. That is something that you are used to. You've got 4 different points on here. Now, for a table, what I'm going to do, okay, and we're going to put it into each of these 4. But for a table, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my points right there, and notice they're already in least greatest order in terms of my domain, my x values. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to write them under my table. I'm just going to line them up using the commas. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm struggling a little. There we go. Okay, so -2, comma 4, 0, comma 0, 2, comma -2, and 3, comma -6. And I'm going to move this down a little bit just so we have room. And here's the deal. Most people mess up and they try to mismatch them. Use these commas to make that T chart, the T in Dr. Idiot, to keep your domain and range separate. And put your X and your Y on top. You just made a table. Now this graphing part you guys are used to. Your X values, you're going to walk and then you're going to go up. So pretty much you drive to the airport first and then you fly into the air. So we've got -2, 4, 0, 0, 2, -2, which is right 2, down 2, and 3, -6. It's like kind of close. And now this is a sketch, and so we're trying to make it as close to as possible, but I know you guys don't have graph paper right in front of you, so this is good. Then you've got mapping. Now the deal with mapping is it's least to greatest on your domain, your X side right here, but it's the same on your range side, which is on your right hand side, your Y values. So we're going to write -2, 0, 2, 3. That was already in order. But now I'm going to write -6, -2, 0, 4. So it's in least to greatest order. And in mapping, the numbers are arranged from least to greatest in both bubbles, but you draw from the input X to the output Y. So we did -2, 4 for our first point. Then we're going to go 0 to 0 for 0, 0, 2 to -2, and 3 finally to -6. Pretty much, it tells you who they are choosing, all right? Now, with domain, all you're going to do is use those mapping values and write them in least to greatest order. And the first thing you have to do is use this curly bracket. So, I'm going to draw it for you on this side. Curve, point, curve. Half circle, point, half circle. And as you keep going and moving faster, it'll look like mine. And then for the range, same thing. And that one looks, ooh, that one just looked worse. We're going to keep that one and move on with life. All right, and I'm going to put it in -6, -2, 0, 4 in least to greatest order. I'm just listing out the range. Now, if you ever have repeats, because that means somebody's two-timing, ooh, then what I want you to do is write it only once. You only mention them once. So if some of you have, repeated an X, we just bring them up once, okay? Same thing here. If you were to repeat a Y, you would just write it once. Now, is this relation a function? That means that your X has only been used once for each of them. One way to look, also by the way, yes, this is a function because we can look at our table, we can look at our ordered pair, but look at your mapping also. Your mapping, each of those people is only voting once, and that's a great way to think about it. You can't vote for two people at the same time. Good luck.